Okay, welcome to Talk of the Tavern. It is Monday, February 24th. Our topic tonight for the first half is going to be leap year because we did this 4 years ago. But first, let's do some intros. Hello to everybody who joined us. We will say hello to you very personally shortly. Till then, I am Travis Sivart, author, and I got a new glass. Look at this. I got a new glass. Here, I'm going to show it to both cameras. One for my co-host. Got all the tea on it, and then for everybody else, right there. And it's got three diamonds going around it for Travis Tavern Talk. There you go. God, I picked the best co-host. um, my vices tonight is Henry McKenna bourbon and autumn evening in a olive wood poker from South Africa. That's my vices tonight. There's John. Hello, John. Good to see you. Let's just introduce, going clockwise for me, Ed. Who the hell are you? What are you doing in my house?
Hi, people. I'm here. Haha, scared you, didn't I? I'm drinking my usual Miele Pinot Noir.
There we go. There we go.
Hey,
Elizabeth.
Pine Lord.
Hello,
Hey.
everyone. This is Elizabeth Pickle Lady here with Pickleman Productions. And tonight I'm drinking coffee, water, as always. And it's a little bit of tequila.
A little bit of tequila. She held up a whole bottle a moment ago.
But it's a little bottle.
It's a little bottle. It's not like that
But it
gallon
packs a
jug.
punch.
Look at the cheering already beginning. And that's from the next person on our list right there. So, Chris, why don't you give a... Aww. You got rubbers on your arm, dude. What are those?
They're defective.
They're big enough for his fist to fit through, so you want one, Ed?
Too small.
Chris, are you going to intro yourself?
Oh, sure. Hi, I'm Chris. That's all.
That's it. What are you?
I'm drinking rum and Blackheart Dr. Pepper. Blackheart rum and Dr. Pepper.
Apparently,
It's been
there's
a
a
long
third one. Let's do. By the way, when you guys hear this noise, it means Travis or somebody else wants to read some viewer comments. So let's do that right now. Ian, how are you? Good to see you. Hope your stream went well earlier. Pine Lord asks, have you been doing these leap year streams for years? And since this is normally a writing stream, is that tequila mockingbird Elizabeth's drinking?
Boo.
It'll to kill me, that's for sure.
And there's Toey.
It would probably kill me.
Oh, I'm not a tequila fan myself.
I'm allergic to agave.
Ah, yeah. Man, you'd hate the book I'm writing right now then. A lot of agave in it. Pine Lord wants to know, it's hard to remember what you were drinking.
Stop, please.
Thought it was please don't stop. Toey, good to see you. How are you? Make sure you do that exclamation point me for Ian and Toey. Let people know who you are and where they can find you to hang out with you. Now, for us, Kevin will probably be joining us later, and we may or may not have other people join us as time goes on, per usual. Now, 4 years ago, in 2016, we did a stream here on Talk of the Tavern about leap year. And what I suggested at that point in time, instead of making New Year's resolutions, since they say make a 5-year plan or whatever, we should make a leap year plan, a leap year resolution, so kind of plan for the next 4 years to grow and expand or whatever things you want to do or accomplish. Elizabeth being all sneaky and slipping her bits in. It's hold on, I'm trying to. And so far, our reception is holding up. We'll see if the internet plays along. It's So I know Ed was on that show. Were either of you two on that show in 2016?
Because we started. When did it turn to Talk of Tavern from Sounds of Steam?
2015. Early.
So no.
Well, yeah, it's yeah. I want to say if I remember correct, I don't even know if we were on Twitch at that time, Ed. We might have still been running on the internet radio stations.
Yeah, I think we're still on radio then.
I think so. It's but yeah, I basically said, hey, let's plan a 4-year regime to create success and aim for something that's more than just 1 year. Let's lose weight or whatever. Let's get some longer term goals in there. Now, I remember mine. Ed, do you remember yours?
Hell no, it was probably have more sex. So yeah.
Actually, that sounds pretty right. It probably was.
Yeah. I succeeded.
Yay! I did not succeed. In the last 4 years, I was in theory working on the writing and the show so it would support me without having to work a day job. Which is, if you guys remember, just 6 weeks ago or so, when we did the first show of the year on the 6th, I said, you know what, I'm going to hunker down and do the work, because hindsight 2020, using the year as a play on words, and I'm going to do all these things that I haven't been doing. Which is why I have the stringent writing schedule and everything. So, I guess, yeah, I failed. Now, we'll move on from there. That's the past. There's no reason to dwell there. Just like you shouldn't live on hopes and dreams of the future, you got to work towards them. So you can have them, but you can't stick with them. So, Chris, where would you like to be in 4 years? What would you like to be doing?
A lot of the same, but better. It has been brought up to my attention that there are several things that I do at work that I need to work on. A lot of planning and things that, yeah, I need to be better about planning out my work schedule, and that also should fade over into my non-work schedule. One of the big things for this year that I'm trying to do in general is just to see friends and people more often, because I work so much that I don't really spend a lot of time with my friends. New Year's. Nope, I didn't do anything really for New Year's. Halloween. Halloween was probably the last time that I actually saw a good portion of my friends, because I work far too much. And my schedule doesn't necessarily lend to me seeing people on a regular schedule, so I need to work extra hard to find time when I'm not working to see them.
So how can you do that?
Fuck if I know. I just need to make the effort to contact them and be like, hey, I have some free time coming up. Are you, available to hang out?
Bonus 20.
That's a good start, and I want to ask Elizabeth and Ed if they have some other ideas. But before I do, Ed just cheered bits with a knife or a sword or a potato peeler. It's hard to tell. Yeah. But if you guys, when you cheer, if you use that,
take my bits,
it gives an extra 20% bits to the channel. So just for the next little bit, I think it's because of Valentine's Day and cutting people's hearts out. I'm unsure. Maybe it's spring renewal and getting rid of the old trash by stabbing them. I don't know. It's
Amazon Prime Video's Hunters.
Yeah. We're the 1970s, which is apparently a big theme right now. Isn't De Niro in that one too? No, it's the other guy. Anyhow, so... Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Ed. Both of you. So, Elizabeth, Ed, I'm sure you guys have had schedules so busy that you just can't hang out with the people you want to hang out with. How do you work that out? Elizabeth, did you want to tell us in song using your ukulele?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I just got 4 chords down.
Excellent.
So you can play like a third of the music through human history.
That's right.
But I'll get there. All right. It's interesting. Chris brought that up. I've been thinking about that myself, and actively engaging in life and not just hiding out all the time working. And I find it inspires me to work harder in what I'm doing, and to be even more efficient and getting up earlier and earlier and working. you gotta live life. You can't just spend it all the time and working. I can't remember. Oh, and this is the year I am doing things I've always wanted to do and never had time for. So I'm doing it. So
Nice.
my fear will be giving birth this Thursday. My
Oh,
golden
I
ales.
thought you said your fear. You said your beer.
Or beer.
My fear. I'm afraid of everything, so this is fun.
Nice. I would not want to see your
It's true.
fear giving birth. That would be an interesting horror movie.
No. And the other thing I'm doing is I'm entering a serious high-level screenplay competition next week.
Oh, very
So,
nice. Now, hold on to that thought, Elizabeth, because the same stuff I'm asking Chris, I'm going to make sure you guys get to see.
that was pretty good.
You don't have shifting light behind you. It could be. If your fucking internet screws up often enough, you could be kicking out any time.
I thought I did. I was like, oh crap, I just heard it.
So, Ed, what about you? Got any pearls of wisdom?
No, it's interesting that Chris should say that if I could learn how to speak again. Um, because about a year ago, I made a similar promise to myself because life just got busy. I wasn't seeing people the way I was. Wasn't even having people over the way I was. Travis, you know that.
Oh, yeah.
You haven't. When's the last time you got an invitation? You know, and
I just know
I
how my
lost a friend.
personality is. Figured it related to that.
No, it had nothing to do with that. And I lost a friend that I had grown up with from the old neighborhood back in the day. And I made a promise to myself then, I'm going to make time to spend time and get in contact with people I hadn't seen in a long, long time, not just recent years, but a long, long time. So far, I got to see 8 people this past year, so I guess I ain't doing too bad. But I want to make that better, you know. And for the next 4 years, as far as leap year goes, between now and then, I am 55 now. So my goal over the next 4 years is to be able to continue to have sex without the little blue pill.
And we'll talk more about Ed and his little blue pill in a minute.
Gotta believe in the beer, and believe in the beer.
Now,
The beer's where it's at, though.
for you guys, the viewers that are watching the live show here, what about you? What's a 4-year plan for you? What goals are you setting for yourself that next leap year you could look back and go, did I make it or didn't I? And it doesn't have to be big goals. Just seeing other people is a great goal. And I have a thought on this also. I like to say there's 3 priorities in life. There's your creativity. There's your job, the stuff that pays for you to do all the things you want to do, include just live and eat. And then there's your friends and family. These, in my head, are the 3 primary priorities in life. And they can shift which one is first, second, and third, depending, like my kid isn't coming around so much anymore, so I don't need to put family in position 1 anymore, because he always took priority. Andrea, as an adult, she can be more understanding as I put my creativity ahead. And that sort of thing. And this is what I'm hearing from each of you. Elizabeth, you had put your creativity ahead. Ed and Chris had put your jobs ahead of the friends and family. And by the way, for those going, well, I don't have a creative outlet. I bet you do. For Chris, I'd have to say it's World of Warcraft. That's his creative outlet. That's where he goes to create something that he feels good about. Other people, it may be binging Netflix. It could be cooking. It could be knitting. It doesn't have to be writing a book or making a film or building a house, though it could be any one of those.
See, I don't know that I would agree with that. I would say, like, my hobby of gem cutting would be my creative outlet. And I also have no time to do that because when I am home, I'm so tired from work that I just don't feel like sitting down to do it. Which then causes more anxiety of, like, I'm not creating my art. But, like, so that I would also like to be better. I need to
Is that
clean up and make
something
room.
you can do while we're on the show?
No,
Okay,
it's
noisy.
too loud.
Gotcha.
If it was not loud, I mean, I guess I could and just turn the sound off, and you'd have to give me like a visual cue to stop and chat. But well,
No.
No thanks. Maybe later when the camera's off.
You gonna make that monkey noise? We can leave the sound on because you guys would just be like, "Wow, it's that old guy from the Wild Kingdom from the '80s and '70s." Who was it that did that? National Geographic's Wild Kingdom.
Oh,
Mutual Omaha.
That's it.
Mutual Omaha. Yeah.
yeah, but who was the like? There was the guy. He was.
Chris is looking it up.
Now I look it up.
So what about you, Elizabeth? For the next 4 years, you've already mentioned visiting with more people, renewing friendships or strengthening friendships or whatever. So you can include that in this. But what's a 4-year goal or arc or multiple goals that you'd like to see yourself accomplish over the next 4 years?
Marlon
Hi.
Perkins.
Thank
That was
you.
his name.
What was it again?
Marlon Perkins. And then they revived it from the it was from the 60s to the 80s, and then they revived it in 2002, which is the ones I remember. Like, I've seen both because they would run an old one and then a new one. Anyway, please continue. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
hmm
Yeah, screenwriting. I want to be a full-time screenwriter and working and creating, and especially with certain producers and actors that I've thought about and focused on. I'd love to have that job. But I've also found this connection where I've been focusing on peace and balance, especially with myself, and adding positivity to the world. It comes and goes, with life struggles. I think that also, teaching art, I noticed that I've been sharing my work with my friends, not so much look at what I've done, but I've been stirring up creativity in them, and that they are now exploring avenues to express themselves. And they are wanting more out of life than what they have. And I'm finding that the more I create my positivity or my centeredness, I'm drawing that to me. And it's very exciting. And it's just a little bit, but why not add to the world? Well, here, make it a little bit brighter.
I think that's a very important thing in human nature to add to the world, to make something that continues on. And I'm not just talking about a name or going, I want people to remember me 50 years or 500 years from now. Just to make a difference. I think that's very important to our psychology. We all want to feel
Don't you
important.
think we all kind of owe it to? I mean, not owe it, but just think if we all did that a little bit more.
Perhaps we all
Yeah.
owe
Give
it
up.
to ourselves
Agreed.
or deserve to
Do it for your fellow.
I don't know
Do it for the
nobody nothing. Not even me.
What if it made all of the wine taste better? Like, it's goodness. What if it just made everything a little bit better? Come on. Think positive.
You know what I have found makes... Yeah, I'll go with that. We'll just... She's drinking, so we're helping. You know the one thing I have found that makes everything taste better? Eating more bland stuff. So when you eat something that's flavorful, it actually blossoms more on your palate. Weird but true.
It's true.
Yeah. It's and then remove the salt, and it's amazing how many other fucking flavors were covered by the salt. I never knew. So we're about to have Kevin join us any second now. It's there he is right there. Let's pop over here and give him his own little face box. Kevin, how are you?
Face box.
I'm all right. I'm alarmed. Don't you try and put me in your box, damn it. I'm a number, not a free man.
Get in my box. So, what's your vices tonight, sir?
It's very strong black coffee. And I may resort to matchsticks in the eyelids by the end of the show.
Beautiful.
And this evening, I am smoking Golden Virginia.
Of course she is.
She'd go with my
Mainly because she's duty-free and cheap.
I like it when
That's
my
no way to
women are
talk about my
duty free.
mom.
Is that your mother's name?
And she.
It's the finest in Golden Virginian tobacco.
Very good. So, Kevin, were you with us on the show 4 years ago, almost to the day, a couple days off, when we actually did in 2016 on February 29th, we did a leap year show and we were talking about 4 year goals. Were you there for that? I think it was
Don't
before
think I
Twitch.
was. No, I don't think I was.
So what we're discussing right now, much better. It's what we're discussing right now is basically a 4 year goal. So instead of a New Year's resolution where every year you kind of make this new thing, I have suggested on leap year you create kind of a 4 year resolution / plan to get where you want to go and give yourself that 4 year time to advance in that and see some forward movement.
Right.
So we're going to go to Ed first so you can see what we're doing. Now, he's already mentioned it, so this might be really short, unlike what it relates to. That's right. So, Ed, what about you for the next 4 years?
I told you, more sex without Viagra. I am 55, closing in on 60, so I'm trying to stay away from that fucking little blue pill, man. And if I can do that for 4 years, I'm gonna be a very happy man.
Now, you know how when anybody has something going on, they think it relates to everybody else. So part of me will I be that guy. How's your blood pressure?
Oh, it's okay.
Good. Okay, I'm done. Well, I know like blood pressure, like high blood pressure or low blood pressure can affect sexual performance.
Yeah.
So I ask about that. Kevin, have I related to you my blood pressure? Have I told you this story?
Sorry?
Have I told you the story about my blood pressure?
You mentioned recently that you'd had issues with
Okay,
it, yeah.
good enough. You're caught up then. So, Ed, now you also mentioned seeing more friends and everything as we were going around the circle earlier. So, how are you doing that?
Phone.
Like, they're still
Email.
in your phone?
Email. Hey, where I grew up, people don't change their phone number, man. What can I say? If I can't get them, I can get a relative.
There you go.
Email, and of course social media. I mean, most of them are right there on social media anyway. You know, the guy I mentioned earlier that passed away, the shame of it was we kept running into each other in town all the time. Hey, man, how you doing? Let's get together and have a beer. We never did it. Never did it. So do it, people. Do it. When you run into somebody, say, hey, let's get together and have that drink. Go do it.
And if you can't do it right then, plan it within the next week.
Yep.
And I don't know about you guys, but every time I plan something like that, 24 hours till the minute I walk out the door, I'm like, oh, can I cancel? I just want to stay home. I don't want to go do this shit.
And then you do it and have a great time.
Right, which is why I make myself just fucking go. I mentioned earlier some of the things I did this weekend, which was including going and hanging out with Chris and going to Benihana for the first time, where they cook on your little table. And the next day we were due to go to the zoo, and the traffic was so bad we just pulled off and went to IKEA. So we didn't. When I say we, I mean Andrew and myself, not Chris in this case. But it was still a good day, and we still went out and did things. But both those days were just like, oh, I don't want to fucking go anywhere and do things. But absolutely, well, and went to a fondue restaurant for the first time, if I didn't mention that, by the way. It's, I had gone one time before. Andrea had never been, so.
Melton pot. Melton pot?
Yeah, in Fredericksburg. So, because we were up that way. And so what about you, Kevin? You got a 4 year... Where do you want to be in 4 years? What do you want to be doing?
I want to be running my own pub, but if the company I work for don't get their thumb out of their arsehole and give me one soon, I won't be working for them.
Now, when you say your own pub, you want to own it, or you just want to be a manager of your own pub?
No, I want to manage my own one.
Okay.
The long-term goal has always been, I suppose, and I'm going beyond 4 years now, that yes, ultimately I'd love my own independent pub again. But financially speaking, I need a promotion from where I'm at and a better salary than I'm on now to put the money aside I would need to launch that venture.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a much longer term plan. We're talking probably the next decade of my life. Next 4 years, certainly a significant advancement in the company that I'm working for now, because it's been promised to me for some time and not been delivered, and I'm on the cusp of it now. But I've kind of reached a point where actually I've set a much shorter time span than 4 years. I've given them 12 months from where I'm sat now, and I have a list of things in my head that I want from the company I work for within the next 12 months. And if I don't get the items on that list checked off, then I'll be leaving.
Have you told them of this list?
Yep.
Good. That's important.
That's kind of what sparked the most recent round of things beginning to happen again. At the moment, rather pleasingly, it would seem that they value my work enough to actually sit up and take notice of the threat that I might go, okay, let's give this guy what he wants rather than lose him. So it looks promising, but I've reached a point now, both I think in general in my life in terms of my age and where I'm at mentally, but also in terms of the duration of my employment with this company, where I'm not prepared to spend any more time sitting around waiting for them to get their shit together.
Mm-hmm. See, a lot of people get that way in relationships as they get older. I think it's very smart to get that way with business.
Yeah, I think unless you're not everybody who works is one of those horrendously driven people when it comes to employment. Many of us regard employment as we don't hate our jobs necessarily, but it's I need to have a job to pay the bills so I have money spare afterwards so I can do the things I actually want to do with my life. And yeah, I've kind of reached a point now where work-life balance has become far more important to me, especially since, clearly having a heart attack, it's a cliche, but it does make you stop and consider where you're at in your life and take stock. Am I happy? If I had died, would I be glad with, where I'd gone out, the legacy I'd left, that kind of thing. So there's a certain amount of self-assessment, but really I'm just less patient. I'm older and more crotchety. I can't be bothered to wait around for you. Get your shit together now, or I'm going to walk and find someone who's prepared to do something. So 4 years from now, I have a tendency to try and avoid planning too far ahead, unless it's in extraordinarily general terms. Because I think as you get older, certainly life throws less unexpected curveballs at you than it does when you're younger.
Really?
But there are so many things that, well, in my case, thankfully, maybe not in everyone's, but I think maybe what I mean is that you've got a bit more wisdom as you get older, so you see certain things coming. Whereas when you're younger and a bit more naive, everything takes you by surprise because you're too dumb to have stopped and thought about it.
Yeah, or you handle it better. By the way, something amazing I've seen here as you sit here and go on about this. I just keep on wanting to interrupt you and say, oh, Chris talked about that. Oh, Elizabeth talked about that. Ed mentioned something about that. What I'm seeing is a common theme here. And the interesting common theme is
rubbing off on each other.
Well, perhaps that, or perhaps this is just human nature of, as you get older, you realize the value of friendship more so. You realize what it adds to your life. What it brings to you.
It's not just human. Sorry, it's not just human nature either. Fred's just told me he's fed up with waiting around for me to sort food out and I need to get my shit together, so...
So yeah, there was a few things like that. Chris wants to have a better work, real life balance. Elizabeth wants to have a better real life versus creativity balance. And by real life, I mean friends, family, time spent with people. And Ed has gone through it and has been connecting with a lot of friends that have just kind of faded away or whatever. So, yeah, I think that's very important. And I mentioned 3 priorities of whatever you do for a living that allows you to do all the other things. Your creative outlet, and then your friends and family, your social. And that those priorities can shift positions. And I don't know if anybody... Do any of you guys think that anybody ever balances the 3 of them evenly across the board? Do you think one always comes first? Ed?
I think one would always come first. I'm sorry, did I cut anybody off?
Both you and Chris looked like you had things to say, so I started with you.
Oh, I think something's always going to come first. I think they change positions
Mm-hmm.
throughout your life
Yeah.
and back and forth and all around and do it again. But I think it'd be impossible to balance them evenly out all at the same time all the time.
Chris?
No, I think Ed nailed it on the head. Yeah, there really isn't a way to evenly distribute them. Something's always going to be a priority. And like in my case, if I tried to devote even time to all of them, I'd end up losing my job because my job requires me to work more than
Right.
a normal 9 to 5 hourly, daily schedule. Like I can't,
Right.
So like there's even if I move that in the priority list and make, time for one of the other two, like it's still not like it's never going to be the lowest
Right.
priority. Like there's no even balance
Here-
because it's three things. Like I don't know that you would even balance if it was just two things, but like
Here's what I'll add to that. I think, and hello, Jake. Good to see you. Um, what I would say is, I think when people start to make creativity priority, it becomes an overlap with the money making. With when you have the ability to turn that into the number one priority, it's because it is also ability to take over some of that other stuff, whether it's your social life for us that go to conventions and whatnot, or your work where it's starting to produce financial gain from it. And I think almost all the time, creativity takes third place, except in
Yeah.
a smaller percentage, not necessarily like 5%, but yeah. Um, so now again for our chat, I'm going to turn here. By the way, still loving the puns here. Like Pine Lord says, "You have no time. Ain't nobody got time for that." And a visual cue. That was a visual digit when I gave Chris the cue of a finger. Um, and of course, hello again to Jake. Thanks for stopping in, and glad to see everybody hanging out. But for the viewers, do you
Hey,
guys?
Jake.
There we go. And you guys got anything that you would say you're aiming for in 4 years? What's a 4 year plan for you? And I like how Kevin does it. You can't lock it in as this, done. You go, here's an end goal. How I get from point A to point B is a different story. And this is what point B will grow into. And because I've never been one for a tight outline, you always have to leave room for life to happen. Yeah, Kev.
No plan survives contact with
You-
the enemy.
You just think about it like planning a car journey from point A to point B.
Mm-hmm.
I know where my house is, and my house isn't going to move. I know where the store, wherever I'm going, I know where that is. I know that's not going to move. But on the way, I might hit traffic. There might be a road closure. There might so you need to know where you're going, but how you get there has to be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially if you meet that buddy you
I
haven't
think
seen
it's
and he wants to have a beer.
I think it's a big problem with some people. I think this is why people struggle so much with goals sometimes, is if you try and be too precise about what you're aiming for and you don't achieve it, or you have to adapt your plan, you see that as a failure. It's not.
Yeah.
If you step back and look at a bigger picture, it really doesn't matter whether I turned left or I turned right or I had to drive for an extra 5 minutes. As long as I get to the store and buy my shit.
Right. And a few hellos I want to, for our viewers here. Dropsome, thank you for dropping in. He says, I just
Hey,
take
Dropsome.
one day at a time and every minute can change. And Tempe says, hi,
Yep.
guys. Tempe, by the way, will be joining
Hey,
us
Timpy.
for the new show starting March 7th, which will be called Right Night. And that'll be every Saturday from 8 to 10, where we have a group of published authors and writers who will come on and discuss the creative and the technical side of writing. But I want to point out with that show, even if you're not a writer, it'll be worth watching because it applies to all the creative stuff, especially the technical side. If we talk about marketing and publicizing and anything, and a lot of the creative side will also bleed over into many different things. So I encourage everybody, not just people interested in writing, to come hang out with us for that, because we want to learn from you. Okay, and also I want to point out, look at Drop. He's got his shot glass with his Talk at Tavern logo saying he's been subscribed for more than a year. It's I like the, yes, Elizabeth?
You asked the question earlier on about what takes priority.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, balance is really important to me right now. And I had been doing something for years, and I didn't realize it, but I've written quite a few screenplays next to hospital beds. And all sorts of lovely moments that
Now,
are
was
overwhelming.
it people you knew, or do they chase you out going, hey, weird lady?
They told you can't write in here.
I'm not telling.
Once the curtain goes round, no one knows who's in there.
But it's, that's going to happen, and it's okay when it happens. Because sometimes when you're on your way home, like Kevin used example, you're on your way home, sometimes the home burns down, or death comes by and shakes the crap out of it or something, It's going to happen. And I wish, and I tend to be a little high-strung personality, but my mother often says to me, it's just life.
Duke cheered. X100.
Don't worry about it. It's just life. And there's a lot of wisdom to that. There truly is.
There is. It's pick your battles and pick what lets you upset you.
And if things combine on you suddenly, and all of a sudden, see what happens. Ride it through. Current knows what it's doing.
Just beating the shit out of you.
The fish survive by being fish. They don't freak out about it. They just go and be fish. Until the orca comes by. Freak out and get out.
Then they're no longer fish. They're sushi. Thank you for those bits, Ed. Appreciate it. Were you throwing salt on the wound there? Is that what that is, Ed?
I'd never thrown that one before, so I had to do it this time.
So if somebody... Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Sorry. It won't let me throw bits.
What?
I keep trying to throw the sword and it won't let me.
Aww.
I don't know why. I don't know.
Are you throwing at least 15 bits?
We're up to 15?
Or 10 bits?
Yeah.
Whatever his minimum is.
I did it 10 times.
I don't know.
There's a... Hold on a second. I want to say... Here, just let me do this real quick. Let me pull this up.
We can worry about it off the air. It's
Well,
okay.
no, there is like a minimum you have to throw of those for it to work, and I'm trying to figure out what it is, and I don't know if I can figure it out on my own channel, which I can't apparently. Maybe can't not. I don't think it's gonna. But yeah, when you click on it, it says something about I don't know. That'll tell you.
I just want to point out that beside my name there, see the little one in the diamond?
Mm-hmm.
That's me. Bits leader, man. I got there.
Also, he's got the founder badge, which means he's one of the first 10 or 20 people to subscribe to the channel ever. So, thank you. Thank you. It's good times there. Okay, so let's see what else we can do. What about for people that feel like they just can't make a plan? They can't plan anything past, tomorrow or next week. You think that's ever true?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with someone like that. She's horrendous at planning anything. Great at improvising because of it, though. It's not necessarily, sometimes it balances out. It depends on the person.
Right.
So how's she ever going to buy a house or anything? Improvise, I guess, huh?
I suppose to a certain extent. I mean, I don't know, because I'm the exact opposite. For all that I said, I try to keep plans general. I do like plans. My plans may be general, but there are hundreds of them. I'm that annoying twat at work always pinning up lists on walls. You know, here's a list of things that we all need to remember. Fuck off, Kev.
You should see the area around my desk.
Yeah.
It's just post-it notes all the way
Ah,
around.
you and I would clearly have some kind of stationary symbiosis if we're ever in the same space, I think.
Which
But,
Mhm.
actually, post-its. That's a thought, actually.
So the thing about post-its that I love is you can make a list and cross it off, and like the list can either be like if you write super small, super long, or like 3 things, but then you cross it off and you get to crumple it up and throw it away and be like, yeah, I did something.
It's a sense of achievement.
That's why I
yeah.
love post-its.
Mhm.
It's what a lot of mental health coaches will tell people when they're struggling with that feeling of it's all too much for me, it's a huge over-encompassing problem. They're like, yes, it is, but take that little bit there. We can fix that little bit. And at the end of today, you go to bed with a feeling of achievement because out of all of that big mess, there was that one tiny little bit you got right. And it can be as simple as making a cup of tea, you know, how motivating yourself to take a shower, that kind of thing, you know. It doesn't have to be all inspiring. It doesn't have to be huge. Every little step is a positive reinforcement, and human psyches love positive reinforcement. That's why we would click those like buttons on social media all the time. That's why we're whores for the attention. You love that sense of affirmation.
That's true. Thumbs up in the chat for that. It's I had something else, but totally lost track now. I don't know what it was. So with the making of lists, I use my notebooks for that. I carry, you know, like the reporter's notebook or whatever, and it is very gratifying. And I often tell people it's important to realize the small achievements you do all the time and celebrate them, even if that celebration is like, whoop, that's done. What's also equally important when you make that list is to realize what you cannot control. An example on this show, I can't control if the internet goes out. So getting upset or frustrated or angry or emotionally hurt over that is a waste of my time and energy. It's ridiculous. Just like if Elizabeth suddenly starts screaming at me and flicks me off and drops off, I cannot control that. Might have been in control what I just said to her right before she did all that, but that's gone now. I think it's important to realize you can only control what you can control, and to put a lot of energy into something you cannot change or control, including other people's behavior. Within reason. Like I said, you can't control how you make them feel by being considerate-ish when the time is appropriate. Any thoughts on that, anyone? No? Yeah? No? Okay.
One thing that did occur to me is it ties back to something you said earlier, the phrase pick your battles.
Mm-hmm.
I've got... my wife will kill me for saying this, but it's true. So a few times, because I have friends who are younger than me, when they're getting into long-term relationships or a couple who are getting married and stuff, you know, I've had male friends come to me and go, got any advice? And I always say, there's only one bit of advice I ever give. And I say, you have to remember, marriage, life, your problems, whatever, apply it where you will. The advice is the same. It's a game of compromise. You can't fight every battle because the frustration, you will lose more than you win. And you'll just, you put yourself in a bad mood, constantly feel like you're failing. So you choose your battles. And I have an example. Early on in our relationship, my wife and I had the pet conversation. Fred, cover your ears. Dog or cat? I am a dog person. I'm not a huge cat lover. Growing up, my stepmother had 3 cats. They were all bastards. So I really didn't want a cat. And my wife really wanted a cute little kitty. I say, I wanted a cat. I wanted a dog. She wanted a cat. So we compromised and got a cat. And you're like, that's not a compromise. Like, yes, it is.
Yes, it
because
is.
it wasn't something that was worth getting in a fight with my wife over. You know, you want a cat, fine, have a fucking cat.
Well,
Ironically, ever since we got the cat, Fred loves me, can't stand him. The only time he'll ever pay any attention to her is when she's putting food in the bowl. He'll walk in the room straight past her like she's ethereal. Hi, Dad.
Well,
So she's come to get very annoyed by us, and she.
one example of compromise somebody once put out there is if you're going to wear a suit and you want to wear black shoes and your wife wants you to wear brown shoes, the compromise would be to wear one brown shoe, one black shoe. Everybody loses. It's ridiculous. You look like a moron. So sometimes a compromise is it's better to have no deal than a bad deal. It's just the truth. And by the way, John says if you can't control
sometimes.
Well,
So yeah, it's a sore subject at the moment with Brexit in this country. It's not always better to have no deal.
well, that is a bad deal from the beginning. There was a deal. But John, Conquest Publishing, says if you can't control it, steer it somewhere. Which really isn't bad advice. Not bad advice at all. It's
it's quite dark, but I've caught my mind saying things to me every once in a while, like, you know what? When you're dead, you don't have to worry about it.
I have used that philosophy
Or when
quite a
they're
bit.
dead.
Yes. All depends how that comes out that next night. But
So you win this round, but you're older. You'll die first.
How little money you make, you're not going to worry about it. You'll be dead. So.
Mhm. Well, no, I think that is
Unless the Egyptians are right, then we're all screwed.
I think that's actually a very valid and helpful piece of advice. And sometimes, you know, in 5 minutes it won't matter at all, or in 5 years, or in 50 years, or in 500, whatever amount of time you need, depending on how momentous that moment is. And this is something I've told friends going through divorces. It's hell right now. It's rough on you going through this breakup and everything. Your whole world is shaken up. But really, Ed is on the other side of that equation. In the long run, when all is said and done, when you're on your deathbed, that's not really going to matter at all. It doesn't really matter. And if it does, man, learn to let shit go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Unless if you're in the men's room, do not let it go. Hold on to that.
Oh, no. If you're going to let it go, do it in the men's room. My God. But if you do it in the hospital next to someone's bed.
When you're writing. There you go.
I promise I will take pictures this time when we leave the hotel. I'm going to take all my bed covers and make it look like a body for the maid.
Nice. You put that in Discord for everybody to enjoy.
And every time I end up in a hospital room, I keep looking for the skeleton I can pose and different.
Well, remember, there's a skeleton inside of everybody, so don't hesitate.
Although if you ever stay in my hotel, please don't do that. My housekeeper's 74. You'll probably kill her.
Then you'll have
She
two
would
bodies.
probably. She's seen it all before.
Oh, Joni is amazing. She's literally like she stepped out of a British sitcom about the hotel industry.
That's great.
Every stereotype you've ever seen about a chambermaid ever. She's awesome. Swears, spits, smokes roll-ups constantly.
So would you, Kevin, important question, because I did kind of have this thought the other day, and then you brought it up. Would you manage a pub that was owned by an American?
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't care who owns it. I just want work.
hey, man.
What if it was in the U.S.? Is that still an option?
We could talk.
That's not a no. That's a start.
The commute would be a bitch.